So keep on going with your silly dream by Piter on AO3, read by Lily6645. This fic may include mentions of suicidal thoughts. That is your warning. Chapter 56. All Might, don't give up, you're a baddie. Summary: All Might versus All for One. The Deku is low-key Delulu for a minute and also lonely. Izuku continued hoisting people out, climbing over the small hill of rubble and ordering them to run. He was trembling and exhausted, but there was so many. It had been busier than any street should have been so late at night, yet large cities like Kamino never really slept. Oh my god, he has another one!
Thank you, sir, thank you!
Over here!
Here, I'll help take her away. You keep digging him out.
Izuku nodded, ignoring the whispers, the gasps, the pictures being snapped. His legs felt like jelly, but he sprinted back near the fight anyways. Searching the area for civilians, he went pale as he peeked over the rubble. All Might had deflated in the middle of the battle, smoking and bloody, on national television. No one was supposed to find out.
Show them, All Might. Show them how pitiful their symbol of peace truly is.
Izuku could see the blonde's face. He looked angry, like a cornered stray. Where was his smile? All Might, he couldn't lose. He couldn't.
Hollowed cheeks and sunken eyes. To think that you're their greatest hero. Now the adoring public knows your true form. Try not to be ashamed.
All Might! Izuku interrupted with a scream from the sidelines. Don't listen! Fight him! Why are you just standing there? Move! Show him what the number one hero means! He wasn't sure where the words came from. This man was the same one who told him he could never be a hero, to give up on his dream. So why was he... I want to be like All Might! You are safe, for I am here! Because at the end of the day, All Might was a hero. He was still everything Izuku strived to be. Please, All Might! The world believes in you! I believe in you!
How sweet.
All for One interrupted, sighing.
Now, All Might, your move.
The hero clenched his bloody fists, head tilted to glare at the man.
No matter how frail I become, or how my body rots, I am the symbol of peace. You cannot take that from me.
Izuku resolved to watch the battle later. When he wasn't in the blast zone, that is, he quickly picked up the thankfully light woman he'd come back for in the first place and bolted off, climbing the rubble for the umpteenth time that day. He jumped, getting propelled by the impact of the blow behind him. Izuku twisted in the air, pulling the woman in front of him and away from the harsh impact. There it was. Izuku only grunted as his back brutally smacked into the broken concrete, head following soon after, Now wasn't the time to freak out. He had to get them to safety. He had to calm down first.
Yahoo! Are you okay?
A tall man, potential Deerquirk, limped forward before gasping.
Oh, jeez. Don't let me get the little lady from here, yeah?
You need to leave. The battle's dangerous. That rubble could stop holding up any second. Izuku snapped, but allowed the man to take the woman previously in his arms. Something felt wrong. Izuku turned out antlers, looking down. The left side was fine for once, just a little dirty and scraped. He looked to the right. Oh, that's a pipe going through the fleshy part of his upper arm. That was probably the issue. The vigilante looked around him at the remaining 6, maybe 7 civilians. He yanked himself away, ignoring the cries of alarm. Let's go! We need to run now! Are you? Follow me! Izuku barked, managing to stagger into a sturdy jog. He looked behind him every few moments, ensuring he hadn't lost anyone. He followed through anything that looked even remotely familiar, although it was hard in such an unfamiliar city. Eventually, the group managed to make it to the police and roadblocks.
Sir, we need medical!
Antlers called out, remarkably calm. Izuku paused, allowing each civilian pass in front of him. He could feel the warmth of his shoulder, but none of the pain. That was bad, right? Usually it meant he was going to pass out. He couldn't pass out here. It was only pure will and spite that pushed him to run away. He was in a phone booth, slumped against the wall, shivering. He was damp. Had it been raining? Why was his shoulder warm and not cold? He was tired. Izuku's tired. He wanted his mom, wanted to hear her voice. It's been so long. He shakily inserted the quarters he'd dug out of a fountain, hand staining the pristine white numbers red. He hoped he'd put it in right. A ring, 2 rings, 3, 4, 5. Hey, this is Inko. Mom, is that you? I'm not at the phone right now. Sorry. Please leave a message and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. There was a beep. Izuku could only sob, letting his hand hit the thin wall, holding the phone to his face. The 15-year-old slid down, cradling his head with his good hand while his right hung limply at his side. He was so cold. He slid in 2 more quarters and tried again. 1 ring, 2 rings. Hello? Who is this? His mom questioned. She sounded tired, just like Izuku. Was she not sleeping? Is anyone there? Izuku cuffed a hand around the microphone, hopefully muffling his voice. Yeah. A moment of silence. I think you have the wrong... I don't, Miss Midoriya. The surname was awkward on his tongue after going so long without daring to speak it aloud. Oh, well, how can I help you? Are you you all right? Izuku smiled, shutting his eyes. If he thought hard enough, he could almost see his mother. The living room, the soft smell of katsudon drifting from the kitchen. His mind was a little less cloudy, and Izuku was aware enough he couldn't stay here. I'm okay, he answered in a whisper. But I should go now. Thank you. Love you. What? Wait. Who is... Izuku placed the phone back against the machine. He was freezing and exhausted, but damn it, he said he was okay, so he was going to be okay. He shakily stood up, gasping in pain and exhaustion. Izuku wouldn't die here. He really had to stop taking the train home, especially after huge battles. Izuku decided to count it as a blessing the trains were even running right now. The teen stared absently at the ground, one hand applying pressure to the cloth tied around his shoulder. You're Yahoo, right? Izuku bit back a groan and looked up. Yeah? You saved my sister today. She was stuck in the rubble, and you dug her out. I thought she was gonna die hating me. The yellow-haired woman sniffled, wiping her eyes. No problem. It's just what I do. Here. She dug through her purse, pulling out a wad of bills and a Nature Valley bar. Please, take these as our thanks. I know it isn't much, but I can't take that, Izuku yelped, scooching back. Please, no, please. I will take the bar if you keep the money. Nothing more. The woman forcefully handed him the snack, nodding and sitting back in her seat, like nothing had happened. Izuku flushed slightly as the rest of the surrounding passengers chuckled in mild amusement.
Hey, Yahoo! You were great out there today! Spectacular!
You saved a whole lot of people today. Are you okay? I saw the blast throw you back and you just cut up.
I didn't know you before, but that video was wow.
Izuku stood up and quickly exited at Musatafu, just barely dragging himself along. At least now he could just go home. He totally jinxed himself. Eraserhead was probably going to pop out with his luck. The vigilante paused with a bated breath. Yet nothing came. No one came. He wasn't... It hurt to stitch up his arm, and he knew the stitches were sloppy at best. In his defense, he did have to do them one-handed and use a damn mirror to properly close the back. Before he slept, he slowly ate the Nature Valley bar. He paused. What video were people talking about on the train? He yawned. Whatever. Couldn't have been that important. He'd just check it out tomorrow. That is the end of chapter 56. On to the next chapter, chapter 57. I have Stan accounts? AKA the aftermath. Summary. Izuku looks at the aftermath, and you know what they say? 1 is the loneliest number. A figure slowly showed themselves over a hill of broken concrete. His red hoodie was almost black with grime, and his outfit as a whole was horribly tattered. Some tears were so wide you could see the cuts that laid beneath. Yet they continued marching forward, one person thrown over each shoulder.
God, there's more! How is he doing that? Someone whispered behind the camera, voice trembling. He's already grabbed so many. Look at all that blood. How the hell is he still walking? Everyone, you need to get out of here. It's not safe. The figure called as they slid down the hill, voice a raspy croak. Find the roadblocks. Help carry anyone who can't walk. Their filthy goggles gleamed briefly as they sat the civilian down. Sir, who are you?
One gasped, cradling his arm to his chest. I'm Yahoo! Izuku stared blankly at the computer screen, reading the comments.
Minimite? Oh my god, he's so cool. Maybe vigilantes aren't so bad. Girl, he saved my dad. Thank you, Yahoo, if you're reading this. Go follow my Yahoo Stan account on Twitter, trust! This is eerie similar to All Might's debut. Could Yahoo be the secret love child of the #1 hero? What do you fuckers know about Yahoo? Nothing. None of you extras know nothing. I bet you can't even name his debut fight. Most of you probably don't know the damn city he's from. Oh god, Izuku had gatekeepers now. He closed the tab, instead rewatching the fight between All For One and All Might for the 7th time. It was nice to see the symbol of peace reign victorious. Despite it all Might was still who Izuku strived to be. Someone people could rely on, look up to. He watched on screen as himself from the previous night screamed at All Might. The teen paused the video, groaning. Why couldn't he keep his mouth shut? Now the whole country had seen and heard him. Hell, he was trending on Twitter, right under All Might, of course. Selfies, pictures of him he had no idea had even been taken. That selfie of him with the bot on the train. All of it. Rather than the small community and an occasional tweet, Izuku now had stan accounts and update accounts. What the hell? He logged out of the computer for his own sanity, adjusting his hood and shoving his hands into his pockets, wincing as he accidentally tensed his arm. It had been a single day, and he was already sick of dealing with the wound. Shuffling down the street was a surreal experience, to say the least. He could hear whispers, worry of what was to come, relief All Might had won, skepticism of the new #1 hero. Izuku shuddered at the reminder the title was in the hands of Endeavor now. Yikes. At least Hawks was #2, he supposed. Maybe he could keep Endeavor in check. Then again, thinking the man's own hero worship, probably not. Izuku sat at the beach, bare feet buried in the sand. Normally, he'd be cleaning if he wasn't able to patrol, but he knew better than to push himself. Scrapes and cuts still marred his body's flesh. Bruises splattered him in shades of blue and purple.
not even mentioning hello. He was impaled by a pipe. The cold water reached his ankles. Before again washing back, Izuku curled his hands gently into the sand. Shutting his eyes with a sigh, he needed to get some sleep. Slowly he began to trek home. Home. Was the dingy, uncomfortable apartment really his home now? Or had the title been left with his mother, with Uraraka in the park, with Shinso's apartment, with Stroke? Or he was just thinking too hard? Okay, so maybe he wasn't coping with the solitude as well as he thought he was. But it didn't matter if he was coping or not. It mattered that he was improving the lives of others by staying away. So no matter how lonely, how cold, how tired and hurt he was, he needed to stay away. He laid down under the beat up All Might themed blanket, closed his eyes, and dreamed of warmth.